midterm election is almost here, which means our phones are blowing up with political texts. Yes, they are annoying, and some of them might even be scams. Let's look at what you can do to keep from falling for them. I'm Emily Gasulo, and this is Tech Bite.
Tech Bite, sponsored by Epico's Comics, Cards, and Games.
If you've been bombarded with political texts lately, you're not alone. iConnective VP George Cray says it's an easy way to reach people.
We see that playing out as opposed to, let's say, voice calls or emails. They're choosing to use text. But the problem is many texts come across with just that 10-digit number that you have no clue who the sender is, and really there's no way to validate whether it should be trusted.
That's why scammers are now taking advantage of our love for texting. More of them are posing as candidates in campaigns. According to iConnective, Americans lost $86 million last election cycle from texting scams. Cray believes this year might not be any better. There's a good response rate with texting.
Well, the only reason I would say it probably is worse is the amount of texting being used by scammers has gone up. And so how successful they are at actually defrauding, the U.S. population, I don't know. But my sense of them kind of shifting to texting is definitely a trend that we've seen. And a lot of that is because they're working so hard to block robocalling and so many other mechanisms.
So how do we keep from getting scammed then? Cray says to be wary of any texts you get from senders not in your contacts.
Even if you like the text and its content, if you don't know the sender, I really wouldn't want to be reacting via that messaging chat. I'd want to go outside of that and validate. Is this really the website? Was the link that was provided really the website for the candidate? Or are they just trying to redirect you to, effectively a scam?
And it's not always money scammers are after. It's also important to watch out for misinformation.
Maybe to tell you that a polling place changed and they would never text you with that information, but they're trying to maybe keep you from voting. So there's all different, things that may be happening. Which is why you should be wary and not just assume it's coming from a believable source.
Cray also advises not to click on any links sent in a text from an unknown sender, since it's possible they could download a virus onto your phone.
And whether, again, it's identity fraud, whether it's stealing money, or whether it's just, as you said, some sort of virus that could infect your phone, all of these would end up costing you dearly.
If you get a text that looks suspicious, Cray says it's easy to report it to the CTIA. Just forward it to 7726 or spam. Some other tips: don't engage or respond. Cray says it's also best to just ignore the message or phone call altogether. It also doesn't hurt to block the number and delete the message from your phone. I'm Emily Gasulo, and that's this week's Tech Bite.
Tech Bite, sponsored by Epico's Comics, Cards, and Games.